Hi, Dmitry. So obviously, about halfway through the season at this point, just talked to your coach, and he said that he thinks you've been playing better and better. And how do you feel about the way that you've played to this point in this season?
Hi. Of course, it's my first pro season, and I'm adjusting to things. And I feel last games I'm playing better and uh, getting more opportunities and all the stuff. So with each game, trying to be better.
And what did you think about your combination with Emilio and Luke Philp tonight?
Uh, they're good players. Emilio got a lot of speed and a lot of skills, and Luke Philp too. So he's a good center. So I like these guys. I have to give them the credits. They're playing good, and it's nice to play with them. So trying to build some chemistry and some stuff with each game. Talk on ice and trying to get better.
And my last one for you, coming to Calgary and being in a room with a guy like Matthew Phillips, who's been here for a couple of years and sort of plays a similar style game with you. How important has it been to share that dressing room with him?
Uh, of course, it's important. He's helping me on this way. All the guys supporting me and him especially talking to me and saying let's go. It's all good. Like giving me some tips in the game. So it's really important. And I mean, I'm watching watching how he's playing and trying to see what I got to do better too.
Yeah, question for Zach. For kind of all the AHL experience you have, coming into this season, what have you felt like outside the obvious factors? What have you felt has been some of the biggest differences in this season?
Well, I think the glaring one is that obviously we're playing a lot of games in a tight time span. So I think how we recover and kind of the things we do in between games is probably really important. That not that you don't have to recover when it's a normal season, but obviously we're playing borderline every second day for the entire season. So I think that's the biggest difference, I'd say. And then at the end of the day too, we're kind of there's probably the league's a little bit younger with the extra guys up in the taxi squad and that. So I think it probably lifts the pace. Guys are playing hard. Guys are playing hungry, and I think that's a big difference. Is there's a lot of young players that are vying for spots in the NHL, vying for more ice time in the American League. So there's a lot of hungry players that even though it's a short season, I think there's the intensity is very high.
Thank you. And after kind of this series and then going back on the road, how are you guys in the locker room kind of adjusting to the way kind of your play has flip-flopped in the last few games and kind of going forward, what's going to motivate you guys to kind of get back on the right track here?
Yeah, obviously consistency is going to be something, a focus of ours going into the road trip. I think we really liked how we played, obviously, last road trip. So I think we're going to try and emulate the energy and the excitement we brought to being on the road for the first time with a new group of guys. I think we have a very tight-knit group, so being on the road for us is a great opportunity for us to, we're eating meals, obviously with our separation and all the protocols, we're not tight together, but it gives us the opportunity, have a 6 feet apart meal with some of your teammates and get to know the guys, especially because a lot of that stuff, we can't do much stuff away from the rink at home. Like I said, anything at home. So I think it gives us a good opportunity to kind of get to know everybody. And it's with a short season like this, I think these road trips are very crucial for a team like us to bond and develop the team atmosphere, I guess.
Thank you.
Go ahead, back to Mike.
Zach, you've spent a fair amount of time this season on a pairing with CJ Lurby, who's just come over to the AHL and on the ice, sort of similar stylistically in a few respects. And I was just wondering what your take has been on playing on that pairing.
I think it's been great. Lurbs is obviously, I really think he reminds me of myself a lot when I was younger. I think he's got that offensive ability and that extra skill that a lot of guys don't have. And I think playing with him, we really think the game the same. And I think that allows him to make some plays. Hopefully, knowing I'm able to make the right read off of him. And at the same time, it gives me the opportunity to make a play because I know Lurbs is he sees what I see on the ice, and it gives him the opportunity to back me up when I need to get backed up, or, like I said, me giving him the opportunity to jump up the play, knowing what he's thinking. I really think that benefits us both, having that same mentality kind of going into every shift.
And the two of you, you both shoot left, but you've been playing a lot on the right side. And which side do you feel more comfortable on, and why?
I think everybody wants to play their strong side. I think everybody's going to feel a little bit more comfortable on the strong side, but I've been doing it a lot now. I think I've probably played the right side most of my career. Just, there's always a lot of lefties on the teams I've been with, and it's something that I'm comfortable with, and at the end of the day, it's not really an excuse. There are some little details in the game that tend to be different. Obviously, your stick is when you're going back for a regroup, for example, your stick is in the middle of the ice versus your stick being on the wall. And I think sometimes, it makes it easier because it forces you see the middle of the ice because your stick's in the middle, you get your eyes up right away versus, if you get on your strong side, sometimes you have to get the puck and then make that adjustment to get your eyes up. When playing on the right side, it allows me to keep my eyes head up a little bit more probably because my stick's right in the middle of the ice all the time. And I think obviously the biggest difference though is the rim outs. I think that's, the challenge that most lefties face or righties playing the left side. It's a bit of a challenge to pick that puck up on your backhand sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're pro hockey players, and hopefully we're able to handle that challenge.
Absolutely. And my final question for you, you got into a bit of a scuffle with Joseph Blandisi on the other side in the second period, and end of a long homestand against the same team. There's been some real physical play in this series. And do you think that intensity is exacerbated by seeing all these, Canadian teams over and over and over again?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you play a team 4 times in a 6-day span, you're going to start to hate somebody on the other team. There's going to be little battles that start to happen. I think that's just something that's going to happen when you're playing a team 4 games. You see it in the playoffs all the time. Once they get in the series 4, 5, 6 games, teams really start to dig in and push back on other guys. And I think that's just the nature of playing these teams over in multiple games in a row.
So just a quick question for Zach. After having seen this Laval team now, what makes them such a dangerous opponent and a team that was pretty frustrating to play against at times?
Yeah, I think a lot goes to how aggressive they are. They're aggressive on 5-on-5. You can see how aggressive they are on the penalty kill, where we don't see many teams that pressure up ice like that, and it really, disrupts some of the things that we're trying to do. I think they're a lot different. We came off of we played Toronto 6 times in our first 12 games or something like that, where they were control the puck, bring the puck back. So that was a very different style that we saw in this Laval series. But I think that style is very indicative of what you see down the stretch, and especially in the playoffs, where it's tight checking and there's not much room on the ice, and you have to find ways to make little plays through guys and deal with that extra, pressure that you face when you face Laval versus sometimes when you face other teams.
Thank you.
Head back to Paige.
Question for Dmitry. How has the experience been for you this year, kicking off your pro career in the Canadian division?
Of course, it's a good experience. I mean, it's my first pro year, and how I said, trying to get better and trying to adjust to the things, because after junior hockey, it's a little bit tough. All the guys, it's mature. All the guys play there like a lot of games, so it's a nice experience for me. So trying to get better.